A beloved police officer in Chino has made news for his love of community. This is Corporal Ryan Tillman in November when he announced he was leaving Don Lugo High School as the school officer to return to patrol. Fox 11 has done a few stories on him, so we wanted to check in as protests shake the nation with a hard look at policing. Corporal Ryan Tillman is with the Chino PD. The African-American officer had founded an organization to, quote, repair the bond between law enforcement and the community. It's called Breaking Barriers United. What's it like to be a police officer in this era?
A little bit about me is I never had any aspirations of being a police officer. And then after praying about it and, seeking God in the matter, he kind of just opened the door for me about 6.5, almost 7 years ago. It's very trying, that's for sure, to know that I work in a profession where it's very, very deeply hated right now. Made me feel like a certain type of way, but at the same time, like that whole George Floyd situation, it was completely wrong. It was unjustified.
When you see F the police, how do you feel?
To know that, this is one of our darkest moments in history. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster when I arrived out there. So when I see that, it's hurtful because it's like you hate me because of a profession that I signed up really to make change and bring change.
Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in Rialto, California, so I'm a local guy. Grew up in Rialto and San Bernardino, I like to say, just because a lot of my time was spent in San Bernardino with my grandmother as well. So
your organization, Breaking Barriers United, tries to do what?
It's put in place solely to bridge the gap between law enforcement and communities. And the reason I never wanted to be a police officer is because I had some bad interactions with law enforcement. Once I became an officer, I saw a lot different glimpse of the profession. I started to understand why officers do what they do.
When you see signs that say defund the police, what do you think of that?
If you want the best officers out there, if you want us to perform at the most optimal level, defunding the police in many ways is not what we need. We need, because we need to make sure we have the most optimal trained officers out there. But one of the things that I've seen is that policing is not the same, wherever you go throughout the United States of America. And maybe that's something we're a place where we need to fix. A lot of the de-escalation techniques we're teaching, the mental illness we're teaching, but you can go certain places across the country and there's literally zero to no training. Just to standardize training. What would I like to see for policing? I would like to see more empathy with police officers. I would like to see more awareness of diversity. I think historically speaking, it's been difficult for law enforcement or people within law enforcement to acknowledge that they are wrong. And I think that's why a lot of people are hurt right now. We have to be able to figure out ways to get along, the people and law enforcement, and realize that we're all still people at the end of the day. When I go home and take off my badge and my gun, I'm still a black man in America.
Tillman played college football. He's married with 3 children. You can find him on social media at Breaking Barriers United. We'll be right back.